And yeah, let's begin with the Trackmania Grand League POV. So the Trackmania Grand League is going into the second season in September in the new Trackmania game. And today we had a show match to kind of introduce all the new players, all the new organizations, and yeah, the new game to the public and to all the Trackmania enthusiasts out there. And the show match has just ended, so I'm here with the recording of my POV since I was unable to stream it myself. There have been official casts, which you can take a look at, but I have recorded my POV because I want to go through the race with you, hand in hand, and tell you my thoughts and just analyze my driving a little bit here. So yeah, as a quick information or as a quick explanation for how the format works, Trackmania Grand League is split into 6 different maps, and each map is going to play it in 6 laps. So it is a laps track. And in the first 3 tracks, you can win points depending on your position at the end of the finish line. So at the end of the 6 laps, the best player will win 20 points, and then the points will just gradually move down depending on your position. And starting from map 4 onwards, everyone in the bottom 8 will lose every single point they have gained beforehand. So let's say I win 20 points on the first 3 maps, and I get, let's say, 11th on map 4. Then I will lose every single one of these points that I gained, and I will only get the points worth for that 11th place. So that's basically the format. And the player with the most amount of points at the end will win the step. So yeah, the first map that we're gonna see is called Night Ride. It's built by SoftyB. Let's actually increase the volume here a little bit. So we're live immediately, and one big change that is new to this game is the fact that you can actually see your position. So you see the 06 on my car is actually displaying my position in real time. So you can actually see my position at any point of the race, which is new. That has not been possible in Trackmania before. So in the previous editions of the Trackmania Grand League, you could just turn on the interface and see where you're at. But yeah, this change is pretty hefty in my opinion, because normally I drive Grand League and I basically don't give a fuck about where I am. I just want to play my race, you know. But now you get your position slapped right onto your eyes. Yeah. So this is the first map, and this is the shortest one. It is called the introduction map as well, or it is being referred to as the introduction map. And the purpose of the introduction map is that the casters of this competition can kind of warm up the chat a little bit, explain everything, and yeah, just show how the Grand League is gonna work, explain all the rules, stuff like that. So basically what I'm doing to you right now. First big mistake right here by me. I messed up the dirt really badly. To my defense, I didn't practice a lot for the show match because I was busy with a lot of other things. I'm of course streaming on a daily basis, I'm creating content, I'm doing this, doing that, so sadly I wasn't able to practice as much as I should have for the Trackmania Grand League. So I didn't go into this with very high expectations, but my expectations are always to do well, to be consistent and avoid making mistakes. So, based on my rather limited knowledge of each track, I was just hoping to survive this, basically. And on the first map, I was actually pretty slow. You see, I'm 15th, and we have 16 drivers, so I was actually second last here at this point. Which got me kind of uncomfortable a little bit, because I'm not used to being that far in the back. Normally, I'm not that slow. But yeah, this map didn't really suit me either. The reactor boosts, like this new stuff, the flames coming out of the tires, are basically making the car stick to the ground. And the physics change, therefore, and that kind of fucked me up a little bit. Same here. So the lack of practice certainly played a big role here. But yeah, I just tried to play my game here and try to survive the rounds. I knew that the upcoming maps were a little bit better for me, so just wanted to get myself warmed up properly and just keep going. So you see, I'm on P14 right now. I didn't bother even putting up my my overlay at any point. Because all I needed was my position. I didn't really need to know the distance. I got a no slide here, by the way. So that got me salty even more. Wide hairpin as well, had to lift off so many times. And here's the funny thing now. Here's the funny thing, I don't know if you noticed, but I put my interface on at the end of the hairpin. Because I thought it's the end of the race. So I put my interface on, I was like, okay, GG. I almost put my gamepad out of my hands until I noticed, oh shit, it's actually another lap. So I was 2.3 seconds behind the leader on P15. And I was like, oh, fuck. It's actually another lap. So I had a bit of a, yeah, weird moment. Because I really thought this was going to be the end of the race, but it wasn't, so I had another lap to drive. So just wanted to fucking survive this. And get done with a not so positive first map. So only a 15th place, one of my worst positions in the Trackmania Grand League so far. I played the entire first season of the Grand League and there was maybe 1 or 2 maps where I played this bad. But yeah, then again, lack of practice and this map was weird. So Riolo on 15th place with 2 points. So here you see the point system. Pack wins the race, wins 20 points. Bren on 2nd with 16, then we have 12 for 3rd, 10 for 4th, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 for both 9th and 10th, 4 for both 11th and 12th, then we have 3 points for both 13th and 14th, 2 points for 15th and 1 point for 16th, and the best lap time will actually win 2 bonus points on top. Question from the chat, were you stressed? Not really. There's always a little bit of stress, you know, because I'm always excited to play a match, but I wasn't super stressed actually. Normally I just try to really focus and get my race going. So this is our second map right here, and you already see there is a big ice section. This is one of the maps that actually have been rebuilt from Season 1 of the Trackmania Grand League, which was played in the previous game, Trackmania 2 Stadium. This track is called Mini XXL, and it is rebuilt. So this map has existed in Season 1 and has been rebuilt for this show match. So this map will not be played in Season 2, which is starting in September, as I said earlier, but it will only be played in this show match here. So this was a map where I knew I could perform better than on the first map, but I was a little, yeah, not super confident with the ice in the end. So I was a little scared of not fucking up the ice in the end. But for those who watched Season 1, you will probably remember this track. And for those who didn't watch Season 1, you totally should, because Season 1 is actually quite a bliss to watch. So this is the warm-up. You can see the timer and everything, the entire interface is orange. Orange standing for warm-up, in this case. And the warm-up is always long enough so that players can drive one entire lap of the map to get warmed up. And here's the ice. So I got it well in the warm-up, making me think, okay, I got it. I got the muscle memory, I'm gonna rock this. So I got it good in the warm-up. Question is, am I gonna do it in the actual live race, which is gonna be 6 laps again? In Trackmania 2 and Season 1, the ice was actually replaced, or it was different. It was handled with a no-grip block, which does not exist in the new Trackmania game anymore. But here we have ice instead. So here we go with the first lap. Had a good start here around the poles. 4th place after the first checkpoint, so pretty good start here for me. Even went up to 2nd, so I had a decent beginning. And I have quite some good memories about this map, Because in the playoffs of Trackmania Grand League Season 1, which were played in Lyon in France at a LAN event, I was actually able to qualify into the semifinals by clutching out a very, very close round at the end of this track against Tween and eliminating him out of the tournament. So Mini XXL will always have a special place in my heart. But yeah, in this game it is a little different. Of course, all the blocks are different and the car feels a little different and there are different visuals, different sounds, stuff like that. So, you know, new game, which is still the same base, but everything's different around it. So here we're coming up to the first ice part and I lost grip. Very nice. So I have no explanation why that happened. I'm not, you know, experienced enough with ice yet to tell what went wrong there. But I died. So that was a terrible fucking start for me, and I was last at this point. 16th place, 15th now at this point. So even though I was pretty sure I had the approach, I actually lost grip on the ice and I just slid out to the outside. Not good. Sadly, that was rather inconvenient for me. But yeah, let's keep going at 6 laps, so anything can go. And a 14th place this early on in the race can still be caught up. So I wasn't really too mad about it, but I was, you know, a bit afraid that it would happen again and again and again. Because ice, as I said, is still kind of a thing I haven't figured out completely to 100%. I'm just driving my race here, finding myself on P13 right now. You see it on my car, so that's... It's a blessing and a bit of a weird thing at the same time. And this was okay, but not great. The entry was good and the second half of the ice was too slidey, too slippery. So I'm gonna remain on 13th place. Pretty shit. Went up to 12th now, so people are making mistakes, which can always happen. It can always happen. Bonk on the inside. And one thing that has also been added with this Trackmania game is that they have added an acceleration penalty every time you hit a wall to kind of combat wall banks in this game. So every time you make contact with a wall, or every time you kind of clip something or land really badly, your car will actually lose its acceleration. Or its acceleration is going to be weaker. For roughly 1.5 seconds. So that wall touch punished me even more. Let's go into the ice once again. And I fucked up again. Lost all my speed. I probably entered with a little bit too much speed. And I fucked it up. So 3 bad laps already. And that ice really got me fucking tilted. Of course I was trying to stay focused, but this was a thing that really made me worry about my capabilities of handling ice. But then again, I haven't practiced a lot, and there's definitely something I don't know about ice yet. So I'll get there. Eventually, at some point. So I quickly turned on the interface to find out the gaps. Not sure if I was successful because it was so fast. This was a good part here. Decent drift as well. Let's go into the next lap, and here I finally got it. A very good ice section by Mr. Streamer. But I didn't gain any position. Which means I lost so much in the first 3 laps that there was a big gap to the player in front. But I was actually able to overtake someone here at this point, making me go up to 12th place. So yeah, just gotta keep going. Twelfth place definitely far away from what I can do. Because I've had a very solid pace on this track if it wasn't for the ice and that small wall touch on the inside. So there was a lot more possible. Because the rest really wasn't bad at all. Let's go into lap number 5. And bad again. And even by looking at my driving, I couldn't tell you why. I'm not sure if I counter-steered too late or too early, or I entered with too much speed. I have no clue. For some reason I actually gained a position with this, so I went up to 11. But yeah, a lot of things went wrong there. So the last lap coming up now, if I counted correctly. The thing about ice is you kind of need to put your car in a 90 degree, sometimes even more of a 90 degree rotation or position or angle on the ice to actually keep grip and to keep accelerating on the ice while you're cornering. It's pretty fucked up. So I'm still on 11th. Going into the ice part one more time. Got it good here. Everything went fine. Interface on. And looks like Gwen won the map. I didn't actually pay too much attention to the positions here. So Gwen wins map 2 with a 723.1. Just 1/10 ahead of Pack. So that was really, really close at the front. Tween on 3rd, followed by Kappa, Carl, Papu, Bren, Afi, Aurel. Then Spam in front of me. Yannick's behind me, one of the new players in the Grand League. Then Scrappy, Massa, Evon, formerly known as Marcin, and Matt. So the points are being distributed here once again, and Bren snacking in the next fastest lap. So he got the fastest lap on map 1 and on map 2. So Bren with 4 bonus points already. 112.70. I haven't practiced the maps enough to know what laps are good. But at the moment it's looking rather ass for Germany. With Massa on 15th and me on 14th. So we're not representing our country very well. But there are still 4 maps to come. So let's see what's gonna happen. Wrong map. I'm already question marking in the chat. This is the wrong map. Because map 3 is supposed to be Rock or Roll. The next remake. Another map taken from Season 1. And has been rebuilt in the new Trackmania game. So, for those who are maybe new to the Trackmania Grand League, every map has a so-called identity section. And the identity section is basically one part of the map that sticks out. So one part that you can easily identify the map with. So for example, on this map, the identity, you'll see it soon, is a big downward staircase. Which is why this map is also called Rock or Roll. Because you either rock the staircase or you roll down. So yeah, every part has an identity. Or every map has an identity in the Trackmania Grand League. Identity is not really a term that has been present in Trackmania before, and it's pretty irrelevant outside of the Trackmania Grand League, but for the Grand League it is terminology that you should be aware of. So yeah, doing some warm-up here. Map number 3, so not the greatest first 2 maps for me, but in Season 1 I was pretty good on this map. And I knew that I could perform well in the new game too, so let's see. Warm-up timer to the right, and here you see the staircase, where you need perfect speed to land on a very specific step. And from that step you land on, you gotta land smoothly in the slope at the bottom of that staircase and maintain as much speed as possible. If you have too little speed, or if you land with bad rotation or a bad roll, you're dead. So let's go into the race. 6 laps once again. Starting off with a jump onto the boosters. I wonder if someone actually fucked up that first jump. Because it is possible to mess it up. But I had a good start here. I really haven't practiced this map a lot, so I wasn't quite sure how I was supposed to kind of judge the other players. Because I didn't really know how much everyone else practiced. I knew that Kappa was extremely well prepared, together with Scrappy. But I haven't heard from a lot of the other participants, so I was almost expecting some people to just show up without any practice. But so far it seems like people are actually all at a moderate level. So here we're going through the loop section. Exiting on position number 6. And we're coming up to the first out of 6 identity sections. So one important thing when you go down the hill is that you need to make sure that you actually maintain ground contact. So not only do you need to go for as diagonal of a line as possible, but you also need to lift off a bit. At least that's, you know, my experience. So let's take a look at it again. You take the drift. Go around as tight as possible. You jump. And you go down the hill. Try to keep the wheels on the ground, which I almost fucked up. But I made it. So as long as you land flat on one of those stairs and land at the bottom of the slope, you're good to go. So I survived it in lap 1, not optimally, but I survived it pretty well and I was on 3rd place. So very good start for me this time around. And this felt good. Like in my head this felt really good. After shit 2 maps, this was a very good relief. And it gave me kind of the mental support that I needed. And now I was even up to 2nd place, so apparently someone who was in front messed up the quarter pipe jumps. So your boy Riolu on P2, ladies and gentlemen. So let's keep grinding. Also, one important one important message from the chat: is the camera switching automatically? No, it is not. Only in the looping. But in the quarter pipes and in the wall ride, I switch manually. So, survived the identity another time. Almost hit the wall on the right. I had to lift off a lot actually, so pretty shit exit speed for me. But your boy is still on 2nd place. Next quarter pipe, nice and low. You want to make sure to jump as low as possible to minimize airtime. It's a key thing in Trackmania to minimize air, which is important for what I talked about earlier, for the approach into the staircase, and also for, yeah, almost any type of jump. Next one. Taking a jump, land on the boosts, maintain ground contact, and... not good. Why did this happen, you might ask yourself? The answer is... I released a little too much, and I slid down the hill. So my diagonal line was a bit too early. And I should have done it a bit later. So this made me slide, and the slide kills speed. So I didn't have enough speed to land on the dark step. So I landed kind of in between, and I almost rolled my car. So in order to stabilize my car, I had to do a lot of air control. I had to air brake, as well as counter steer in the air. So I semi-survived it, but this killed my entire speed for this section. However, I didn't get punished for too badly. I was on 6. And I knew it was close. It was close between everyone. So I knew that 1 or 2 good laps, Monka S, are gonna push me back to where I was. So, instantly gained the position again. So it seems like the quarter pipes I actually knew how to get. Good. A bit wide here in this right-hander. And I went down to 8th place. But all good. So look how close it is. It is always swapping from 6 to 8. And again, I fucked it up. Why? You might ask yourself. Here's the answer. The answer is... I went too far to the left. So I should have aimed a bit more to the right. I had enough speed. I had the good setup. But I fucked up. So also here, I was super lucky that I didn't get yeeted out of the fucking track. So as soon as I knew I was gonna hit the border, I completely stopped accelerating and just tried to keep my car straight. So another bad lap, unfortunately. And after that good start, that's really not what I wanted. Because I was 2nd. And now I'm down to 7th. Quarter pipe too high. This also too high. I fucked up my camera change here. So I had to take that drift in cam 1, which is normally not what I want. But I was still in 6th place, despite having a bit of a messy section there. So I knew I could still get somewhere. So P6 for your boy. Right now. Next staircase. Hit the wrong step this time. But I did not get a slowdown. So I remained on P6. Once again, I was too far left. Also hit the wall almost. Again on the right side. Yeah. But I'm still alive. This is lap 6, I think. So one final lap that I gotta ball through. P6 for your boy. Let's keep going. Is Riola gonna make it? Chuck it into the right-hander. Chuck it into the looping. Chuck it out of the looping. 7th place. I got overtaken. Seventh place still, going down the staircase for one more time. Release, keep grip, land flat on the black. Pop it, a lot of speed. Checkpoint P4. And 5th place in the end. So I had an absolutely banging ending. And I was able to snack in both Yannick's and Kappa, apparently. Who were in front of me. So I had a very, very good ending. And if I were to go a little bit tighter, I maybe could have stayed ahead of Pack. So Gwen wins this map again with a 7:05.71 in front of Carl Jr., Massa, Pack, and myself. Then we have Yannick's, Kappa, Papu, Tween, Aurel, Evon, Brent, Scrappy, Afi, Matt, and Spam. So Spam actually got last here. But then again, you don't lose points on the first 3 maps. You start to lose points on the next map onwards. So Pack with the fastest lap time here, 109.051. And I got myself some good points out of that map. So 2.3 seconds of a deficit. And if we discount the mistakes I've done, I think I could have won this map. I definitely had the pace to beat Gwen. If it wasn't for the bad staircases, but hey, that's what it is. +9 for me, making me go up to P12 in total with 15 points, tied with Scrappy after map 3. And now we're coming up to the highly debated and spicy part of the Trackmania Grand League. And we're coming up to the final 3 maps. So let me explain once again. Players who position themselves on position 9 and worse will lose every single point they have gotten so far. So let's take me as an example. 15 points for me. If I now place 10th, which is in the bottom 8, I would lose my 15 points and only get the points back that are worth for that 10th place. So this is where shit gets spicy. This is where people start to debate, understandably, because this point system has been debated ever since the first season of the Grand League, and it's still being kept to this day. So Pack is leading with 46 points. Gwen 1 point behind, 45. Carl Jr. on third with 33. Then we have Bren, Kappa, Aurel, Tween, and Afi for the top 8. 4 people with 17 points. Afi, Masa, Papu, Yannick, all with 17 points. Scrappy and me with 15. Spam with 13. Evon with 11. And Matt with 4. Map 4 is called Car Coaster. And this is a map that is actually taken from the Summer 2020 campaign in the new Trackmania. So it is actually one of the campaign maps, sorry. And this map is incredibly difficult for many, many reasons. So not only do you have the ice at the start, which is really difficult to fucking survive somehow, but there's also something else, the identity section in the end. So let's just keep watching my warm-up lap here. And we're gonna take a looky at the identity section near the end. Little shortcut here through the trees. So this is the identity section. For those who are new to Trackmania and don't know what this particular piece is doing, is that this block is called a reactor boost. Precisely a downwards reactor boost. So what it does is that it keeps your car attracted to the ground. It actually acts like a bit of a magnet. So what it allows you to do is you can stick to the wall. Normally you're supposed to just go up and down. Like you go straight up and down. But there's actually a faster technique, and that involves to actually go to the side. You gotta be slow enough to not yeet yourself out completely. But also keep enough speed to not get overtaken by everyone else. So this is a very, very difficult map. We have ice, which is an incredibly difficult surface to master. And yeah, the end as well. So this map was a big fear for a lot of us. And I knew that if I managed to survive the 6 laps without a major fuck up, I'll be in the top 8 and I'm gonna keep my points. So yeah, let's keep going here with lap number 1 on Car Coaster. So I practiced the ice enough to know how much speed I can carry into the corner and how I need to kind of position my car to survive. And I was confident enough to know what I'm doing. Unlike on that other map that we played previously. So on this map I actually felt confident enough to beat enough people to keep my points. And the start, so far, does not look that bad. Through the dirt section we go. You want to stay in 4th gear through the entire dirt part if possible. Because in 4th gear you can actually do this little zigzag on dirt to increase your speed. And here we go. Not the greatest part here, I flew a little too much. Also here, you kind of want to stay as low as possible whilst keeping the momentum. And after lap 1, I have, yeah, gotten myself a 7th place, so not bad. As long as I stay on 7th, I'm gonna keep my points. And that's really all I care about. I don't care about winning. I just want to keep my points. So, yeah, pretty good section here. 5th place after the ice. And your boy Riolo is on his way to keep his points. 4th place. Starting to look even better. 5th place. So you see, shit's close right now. So this map allowed for different approaches and different lines, and I think a lot of players picked different lines here, which made it quite interesting to spectate. Little mistake here on my end, went on the sand. The sand on the sides is slower. This slightly brighter, almost plastic looking part of the dirt is the same speed. And yeah, the dirt in the center is of course the part where you want to stay on, but the sand needs to be avoided. So, stay slow. Bit too much of a jump, it threw me too far to the left. Because the magnet just drags you to the left. So you want to stay as close as possible to the ground all the time. 4th place. 5th place. Into the next ice section we go. I was actually like, when I first played this map, I was super afraid of the ice. I was super fucking afraid of the ice. Because I was so bad at ice, I was like, nah, there's no way I'm gonna survive 6 laps on this. But the more I actually thought about it, the better I got at it. So I was up to 3rd, 4th, like in the battle actually. So pretty sick. So once again, stay in the gear. You can see your gears here at the brake lights pretty much. So there are gear LEDs. Yeah. And the optimal gear for dirt in on this map is gear 4. So this was very good. Probably my best lap so far. And I will stay on 4th. Quickly turn on my monitor, my interface. My monitor, yeah, I mean, keeping the monitor on is a good idea as well for the Grand League, but here I had to correct my line. I had a bit too big of an oversteer, so I had to correct my line. And you can instantly see the battle is fierce, because I dropped to 5th. Hit the grass too much, slowed me down a lot. Grass is to be avoided here. Question from the chat, would you turn off the car skin position indicator if you could? I think I would, yeah. I think I would actually turn it off. While I think it's a cool gimmick, it was disturbing me a little too much. Because when I play competitions, I usually just want to I just want to play my game. Also, big fucking Monka S section here. I almost flew off. This shit almost yeeted me into the sky. So my car just barely re-gripped on the ground. And also here, super bad. So I lost 1.5 seconds probably. And your boy is now down to 7th place. Your boy is down to 7th place. Okay, 6th place. So we gotta survive. Survival is important. 5th place. So you see, it's close. Oh shit, you saw the interface there for a second. Let me try to catch that. So Spam was leading in front of Scrappy, Evon, Pack, and me. So I was 5.5 seconds behind the leader. But look how close it was between 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. So all of us were basically within a bit more than a second. So the difference from keeping your points and losing them was literally on the edge on this map. Very, very tight. And I wasn't aware. I wasn't actually aware. So this battle was actually insane. And maybe it's good that I didn't know. Lap 5, by the way. So not only do I have to survive this lap, but also another one. Up. Too big of a jump again. Taking it very conservatively. This was good, but you see it's flashing between 6, 7, 8 all the time. So shit's rough. So it is fucking tight. Going into the last lap, and this was do or die, basically. I was now on 8th place. 8th would still be enough to keep my points. 8th is all that I needed. But I had to stay there. So P7. Enough. And at this point I was like, holy moly. Let me survive this. I want to keep my points. I need to keep my freaking points, mate. Hit the grass on the outside, not the greatest. Also, grass touch on the inside. So I lost it a little bit. Little zigzag for extra speed, make sure to not hit the trees. And through the coaster section we go, one last time. What do you think is gonna happen? A, I will jump to Mars. B, I will stick to the ground. C, I will magically get a speed boost. Or D, my game crashes. What do you think this is gonna be? In the meantime, I'm gonna open a drink. ASMR drink opening. Fuck, it sprayed into my face. Okay, the answer is... I survive, but I'm 10th. So I had to push really fucking hard. Riolo up to 8th after the second part, and I was like, holy fucking chicken nuggets, I need to get that last jump good. Which I did. Last checkpoint, checking the splits, Riolo stays on 8th, and I'm in. And please take a look at the left-hand side of your monitor and take a look at the interval down to 9th place. I stayed ahead of Afi by 0.07 of a second. So Afi lost his 17 points, Gwen lost his 45 points, Aurel lost 22, Bren lost 29, Carl Jr. lost 33 points, as well as Massa, Kappa, and Tween, who all lost their points. And I kept my 15, plus I get the points for 8th, but only by 0.07 of a second. So, local German streamer is still alive with his points in the Grand League show match. And yeah, there was a complaint by Afi in the chat asking why. I can't tell. I can't tell why, Afi, but I'm just fighting for my survival, my friend. So map 4 is ending with an absolutely clutch situation. And I have completely lost it. I have completely lost it in lap 6. I made so many mistakes in lap 6. So yeah. That was crazy. Wrong map. Server administration 100. And here we are. Going on to map 5. This one is another remake. The previous map was actually not a remake of a Season 1 map. And this one is. This is Contest Sliding, and the original map was called Contest Diving. Why? I will explain soon, but let me just quickly show you what happened in the chat there. So Spam wrote bye-bye points, now we die. XDDD. I wrote same, because I was talking to Spam before the match, and I told him, yo dude, how you feeling? Blah blah blah. And he said, yeah, I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna go for outside bug slide on this map. I was like, yeah, same. It might not make a lot of sense, but I will explain what we mean by that in a minute. So let's first do the warm-up. And basically everything that kind of makes this map exciting is in the end, at the identity section. So for those who followed Season 1, this should probably look familiar for the most part. They have actually made a lot of changes, but the main route is pretty much the same. So we have a hairpin where you want to stay in 4th gear as well. Ideally not drop it. And now we're coming up to the identity section. So you need to slow down in order not to hit your head on the checkpoint. And then we transition into the identity part, where you need to make use of this technique right here. The technique that you have just witnessed here is called a bug slide. And the bug slide is a technique that allows you to take grass corners and dirt corners, and sometimes also tarmac corners, super tightly with no speed loss whatsoever. It's not useful every time, but here it is actually very useful. And the map is kind of wrapped around this technique here. So yeah, let's take a little gander once again. So what you have to do is you land in a 90-degree rotation. So you rotate your car before the jump. You give it some momentum into one direction, either left or to the right. You land 90 degrees like this. And then you hold gas, brake, and turning, all three at the same time. And as soon as you release either the brake or the steering, you go straight again. So you're able to keep your speed and get this very sharp grass corner extremely tightly. But not only do you have to do this once, but you actually have to do this twice. And the second one is a lot harder, because you have to go through the fucking Amazon rainforest right here, where you need to avoid the trees. So you have to aim and rotate your car 90 degrees in the air and avoid the trees to survive that part. So this is fucking difficult. And one thing that I want to talk about, the outside-inside thing, is that there's a possibility to jump to the left of this dirt hill and jump between, I think, these two trees right here, where my mouse cursor is at. So players can opt for a tighter line, but it's riskier, because it involves exiting this so-called bug slide by hitting the wall with the back end of your car, which is pretty risky, because if you smash into the wall with too much speed, you lose all of your momentum. So I decided to go for this strategy instead, which is wider. You travel more distance, but the perk is that you keep more speed. You have more exit speed. And that is what Spam and me were a little worried about. We said, holy shit, everyone's gonna go inside, because inside is proven to be faster by almost a second if you do it properly. But it is riskier. And in the Trackmania Grand League, you really want to be consistent instead of going super fast. So consistency is being rewarded, and that is exactly my thought behind this map. So I knew if I survive this track without hitting trees, I'll probably be in the top 8. Or very likely. 95%, I will probably be in and keep my points again. So I have quite some points now after the first 4 maps, and let's go into the first lap here. So all in all, this is actually a pretty cool map to drive. Not gonna lie. The only section I find a bit weird is the hairpin. Or well, basically starting from here, where you drop into a right drift, and then you have another small transition. Dropped my gear here, so small speed loss, but not that badly. And now we're coming up to the first identity part. Didn't hit my head on the checkpoint. Turn your car to the right, and zoop. Very good exit. 3rd place at the checkpoint. Didn't hit the trees either. Zoop. Good exit. And while I was first passed by the inside line people, and I dropped to 6th, I overtook them back, and I'm back to 3rd because I had more exit speed. So that is what I was talking about. You do benefit at first from the inside line because you travel less distance, but my line keeps more speed. So after lap 1, 3rd place. Very good pace. If I keep this up in 6 laps, I'll be good to go. So this gave me confidence. This gave me a lot of confidence. Because this was pretty much meeting my expectations from this map. I knew this was going to be a thing. I knew it. Because there's no way in heaven that every single one of the 16 drivers on the track is going to survive all 6 laps. Bit of a shaky hairpin here. Almost hit the wall, but all good in the hood. Almost hit my head. Going into the next bug slide, and we zoop it. 3rd place. Yeah, pretty close. Almost made contact with the tree, but we good. Riolo remains on actually up to 2nd place. So I passed someone with my speed. 2nd place. And I was honestly a little surprised to see that I was 2nd after this. But it was a very pleasant surprise. So let's keep going. Scrappy was in front by almost 1 second after 2 laps. And I can guarantee you that Scrappy went inside, because he practiced inside all the way, and he had a very, very good 6-lap personal best. Another hairpin. I had to lift off, but I was still able to stay in the 4th gear, so that's good. Lift off, don't hit my head, and go for it. Here is where some things went a bit wrong. Let's look at it again. So here you can see I didn't have the optimal 90-degree angle when I landed. So I had to wait a little bit after the landing so that my car gets into the required 90-degree position. But this waiting time kills a lot of your momentum. So I had a bit of a shitty exit, and I instantly dropped to 4th. I was like, no problem, until that happened. So I was facing the fucking tree head on, and I had to respawn. I'm not sure if I had to respawn actually. Maybe I would have bounced off somehow in a way that it, you know, didn't really require me to respawn. But yeah, that caught me a little bit off guard. I lost my flow, and I bonked. And yeah, the flying respawn is also a new feature in Trackmania. It respawns you with the same speed and the same trajectory you have before. But yeah, I fucked it up. Not only once, but I fucked it up twice. But at least this time I was not forced to respawn. But yeah, from 2nd place to P12. And there go my points. Within a blink of an eye, your dreams are shattered. So going into lap 4, I find myself on P12, and I probably lost 10 seconds easily. And this mistake really, really burnt my bacon. It really burnt my bacon. But a small thing in my head told me, hey, maybe people in front are still gonna die. So perhaps there's a slim chance that I can come back and get into my beloved points again. So just gotta keep going. Good. But I didn't gain any position yet. Good again. So I was hoping, did really everyone survive that? Yes, I was still on 12th, going into the last or second last lap, I think. So I'm still on 12th and nobody in front has made a mistake. And that got me thinking. Because the further you progress and the closer you get to the end of the race, the less likely it is that something in your favor is gonna happen. Well, let's just keep going. I mean, the race is not over yet. Don't say it's over until it's over. So I knew I also had to push it a bit. I had nothing to lose. I was on 12th. 12th place is dead. I was gonna lose all my points. Interesting. I turned on my interface to know how much I would have to push in the last 1¼ laps. So I was 1.97 seconds behind 8th. So not even 2 seconds. And 2 seconds on this map is actually not a lot when you think about it. Because one mistake could already get you somewhere. So at this point I knew it was possible. I knew that if I survived lap 5 and 6 there might be a chance. So Aurel 2/10 in front, Matt 1.4 in front, Yannick's also in reach and Massa on 8. So let's keep going. Took this a bit too conservatively. But gotta keep going. Super quick exit. Bit of a shit angle, but I passed one already. So I instantly snagged one. Because I knew I had to push. So I'm up to 10th now. And I knew lap 6 and I can make it. I dropped my gear in the dirt, sadly. Dropped from 4th to 3rd, which is not good. But now I'm 8th all of a sudden. So at this point, I think IRL, I was like, oh. I was super surprised to see the 08 on my car. So I did it. I was on 8th. Okay, I was on 9th, but it was close, yeah? I was 10th. Okay, still close though, because you see it's neck and neck. So in the back of my mind, I knew I had to push. I needed a good ending. Because all the other players are of course routined and good enough to kind of go for the same decision like me. So yeah, I had to push. 4th gear in the hairpin, P8, good. Almost hit my head, I needed to risk it. Bug slide. Landed, zoop hit, and game over. Game over. I exited my slide too early because I wanted to go for as much exit speed as possible. So I exited, I stopped the bug slide a little too early. I should have held it for a bit longer. I should have held it until I was like here, just before the tarmac. But already here I started to like exit it, which was super stupid. So yeah, I just instantly hit the wall, I was too greedy. And here you see the acceleration penalty kick in as well. So I dropped down to 10th, I survived the last jump. So maybe So maybe 2 people in front are gonna fuck it up, but nope. Riolo on 10th with a 1.2 second deficit, and I lost those 1.2 seconds easily with that mistake. So yeah, 21 points down the toilet. Very nice. And let me tell you, I was mad. I was mad IRL. I was so fucking mad. Pack, in the meantime, won the race. Afi on 2nd, Papu on 3rd, Evon with a very good 4th position. And also got the fastest lap time, 1:20.525. And Pack with a really, really good step. 58 points, and he will get another plus 20. The big losers of this map are, well, me, sadly, with minus 21. Spam with minus 33 points. So, rip Spam, and minus 25 for Yannick's. But I was fucking mad. So it was all gonna come down to the last map, which was another remake of a Season 1 map. This map is called Descent, and the name pretty much gives it away. You have to descend downwards. That doesn't make sense. Descend downwards. Yeah, that's kind of a paradox here. But you have to go down the boosters here. So, while being full of salt, I knew that I could at least secure myself a few points by staying in the top 8 after the end of this map. Because basically, due to the point system, if you happen to stay 8th at the end of this map, you're also going to be 8th in total. So I felt medium confident about this map. On a good day, I could be good at it. On a bad day, well, not. And today I felt like it was an okay day at best. So we have a bit of a dirt section here. The dirt on this version of the map is actually so much easier than in TM2. Bonked the wall in the warm-up, so that didn't quite contribute to good vibes, but went for a quick respawn to get my speed back. So this jump is pretty crucial. It's a very, very tight speed check, and it basically depends on how much exit speed you get out of the dirt. Like, the exit speed from the dirt is important, but then you gotta get tight around the corner. And ideally land straight so that you don't drag 2 skid marks behind your wheels. You ideally don't want skid marks. And then jump. And kind of aim for this Trackmania logo. So you want to make this jump, go through the triangle of the checkpoint. And a technique that I learned yesterday was to go like this. So you jump onto the dirt, skip 2 boosters, and land like this, kind of. So this was kinda, sorta how you wanna do it. Just better. And I felt confident about this, because in the Season 1 version of this map, I had no trouble with this. I really didn't have trouble with this identity. But now with this new line that I actually learned yesterday, so one day before the show match, yeah, I was like, should I risk it? Let's find out. Last map of the Trackmania Grand League Season 2 show match. And your boy Riolo lost everything. So it was basically do or die now. Do or die and just hope to place in the top 8. Then again, I was confident. I knew that I could survive and be consistent enough. But yeah, that of course depends on how the others are gonna do too. So we're coming up to the first jump. I'm on 6th place, so not bad. I had skid marks, but I was able to risk it, and I went for the strat. And I felt like this was good. This was not bad. But this was a big surprise. I was 12th after this. And I was like, what the fuck did I do wrong? And this completely ruined my confidence. This killed me, basically. This was the point where I thought, okay, this is over. Because I thought that was decent. And I don't know how other drivers have taken that part. Whether they went for this risky through the dirt part, or whether they actually stick to the platforms. So I don't know what people did here. But I was like, holy fuck. That was bad. So I was on 12th place after not bad of a lap 1. So I wanted to try it again. Had the speed. Had a lot of speed here. P10. Clipped. Didn't get a lot of boost. And yeah, this was something to be forgotten about. And P14. So that was a mistake on my end. That was a mistake on my end. It looked good at first, but yeah, then I fucked up. So additional time loss for me. Not looking good. I was 1.3 seconds behind 8th already at this point. And I only had Massa and Matt behind me. So yeah, pretty bad. So it seems like I actually got that entire part wrong without knowing it. So I cucked myself. This is of course completely on my end. I take the full blame. I just drove the whole map wrong. Or well, the whole identity wrong. Skid marks. But enough speed. So I was fed up with that other line. And I went for the old strat. Hoping that it would kind of recover my confidence. But then I fucked up again. And I lost the position. So now I was 3.4 seconds behind. So I kept losing, no matter what I did. And no matter how good the rest of the lap is for me, I always throw it away at the identity. And since the identity very often is the most important part of a Trackmania Grand League map, this was basically the nail in the coffin for me. Normally I don't let myself get tilted by this, but today I've already had not that great of a day. And then I realized I practiced the map wrong. So I was on P14, not knowing what I did wrong. Not knowing whether my entire approach was wrong. Of course I made mistakes, but I was like, fuck it. Then I hit the wall, I was like, okay, fuck this shit. I think I said fucking dick IRL at this point or something, I don't know. So I lost another position and I just wanted it to be over at this point. Second last. I had no idea what was going on here. I was so confused about this map that I wasn't focused at all anymore. So I passed someone here. I don't know what happened, but I went up to 14th place, which doesn't make it very good for me, but hey, I passed someone. So I wish I could tell you what the strategy is to get that. 13th, by the way. So I just kept doing this shit now. This was beautifully smooth, actually. That was very satisfying. Did that get me anywhere? No. And then I got a no slide as well. So going into lap 6, I was completely devastated and I wanted to reboot this Grand League show match. But that's sadly not possible. So going through the last couple corners here. Nothing too exciting anymore. I think this one's pretty much over and out. So on P13 I'm finding myself. I just don't want to talk about this. I wasn't sure where to go. So I just went into the wall. Then I hit that shit on my way. Fucking 15th, no, 14th place. Thank you very much. Thank you. Very good. So Kappa wins this map with a 7:19.5. 2 seconds ahead of Carl Jr. Then we have Pack, Gwen, Aurel, Scrappy, Spam, and Papu, who are also going to be your top 8 for the Trackmania Grand League show match. Tween loses 7 points, Afi loses 19 points, Yannick's losing 3, Massa losing 1. I guess that's not really a shame. Bren 4, Riola loses 5, Evon, the big loser, with minus 33 points. That is definitely a case of O Curva. And Matt with minus 4 as well. So yeah, a sad end to the show match, unfortunately for me. Losing my points on map 5 certainly was extremely unlucky. That shouldn't have happened. And I just take the blame for, yeah, risking a little too much. Because that was definitely not necessary. And yeah, the last map, I just drove it wrong. I just drove the last map wrong all the time. So I had no chance to begin with. So Pack wins with 90 points, Scrappy with 45, Papu with 44, Kappa with 29, Carl Jr. with 26, Gwen on P6, one of the newcomers in the Trackmania Grand League with 14 points, tied with Aurel on 7th, Spam with 10 points on 8th, Tween with 5 on 9, followed by Afi, Yannick's, Massa, Bren, myself, Evon, and Matt. So I place 14th in the show match, and that is... yeah, one of my worst performances in the Grand League, but at least it was just a show match. I mean, trying to see it positively, at least it's just a show match. The actual Trackmania Grand League Season 2 will begin the 13th of September, and that is where I'm going to practice a lot more. I haven't practiced a lot for this show match because I was very busy with the release of the new game, with creating content every day, with practicing the game in general, first of all, so I didn't put too much effort into this, but I think there was room for improvement. I could have played better, but today just wasn't meant to be. So yeah, Grand League Season 2 starting the 13th of September with the 16 drivers you're seeing on the scoreboard right now. And I think 1 week after the first season of the Grand League, the Open Grand League will start, which is basically the second division open for everyone. As long as you own club access of the new game. But everyone can partake in the Open League. So if you want to qualify yourself for the Grand League, then that's your way to basically go up. Yeah, thank you for watching the analysis here. Bit of an unfortunate ending for your favorite streamer, but yeah, that's what it is. GG's.